Salutations everyone, this is Razor here giving you another movie review once again, where today I'm going to be going over the Cloud Atlas. There was some COD 4 in the background from the block. So I saw Cloud Atlas today, came out this weekend. If you don't know, it's based off a book, which honestly I didn't know till last week. So sorry I didn't have time to find it and read it before I saw the movie. But it's the movie with Tom Hanks and Halle Berry and Hugo Weaving, as well as a plethora of other fantastic actors, directed by the Wachowskis siblings, as well as another guy. Not familiar with his work, and I can't remember his name, but there was a third director slash producer in there. If you don't remember, the Wachowskis siblings did the Matrix trilogy, which has some mixed reviews, but I think we can all agree that the first one was fantastic and revolutionary. They also did Speed Racer, which is a very underrated movie. It did not get very good reviews, but was actually very, very good. But this is not about that. The Cloud Atlas. Oh gosh, when I saw the trailer to this film, I was thinking to myself, "Whoa, what was that?" But I need to see it. I don't know what I saw. It's like it has something to do with the past and present and future, but I need to see this movie. And long story short, guys, you gotta see this film. It's fantastic. It's one of those films that you're not really sure how you feel about it, as you get out of the theater, but it sinks in later on, in the week, and it's still sinking in. Because I just saw the film today. It's one of those films that I had to let sink in, and maybe a week or two from now I'll have a better grasp of how great the film was, how much I like it. Maybe it'll just end up being in my top 5 movies of the year, or maybe it'll be one of the greatest films of all time, in my opinion. It's hard to gauge at this point because it's such an interesting film. It's one of those books that, so I hear, that many people thought could not be turned into a movie. It would have been too difficult. It's just too hard. It's too complicated, and you can definitely see why, because of all of the different timelines in the movie and all of the different characters that keep meeting each other in different parts of time. As you may know from the trailer, Tom Hanks, Halle Berry, and other actors, Hugo Weaving, and the old guy in the film who played Professor Slughorn in the Harry Potter series. He did a fantastic job as well. But they all play, as well as some other minor characters, they all play many different characters in many different stories that take place through different parts of time. Some in the 1700s, and there's one in the 1970s, there's one in the present, and there's a couple in the future, one much further than the other. But the way that these stories intermingle is very, very interesting, because the one will have an impact on the other, whether it's something that they did in their lives, the story of what they experienced. They each have a profound effect on one another, and it's very interesting movie. It's hard to get a grasp on it, and I'm not going to give you guys any spoilers, and it's kind of hard to do a review of this kind of movie, especially when it hasn't fully sunk in yet. But the only word that I can use to sum up this movie is astounding, because that's the only thing I can really think of right now. And it's hard to give a summary or a plot synopsis of the film because it's so complicated and just so very brilliant in many different ways. It has to deal with the past, present, future, mortality, fate. There's just so many different things. I mean, after I saw this film, I had to email one of my college professors, because he's a bona fide genius and one of the most brilliant men I've ever had the chance of meeting, and was my favorite professor throughout college. And for those who don't know, I majored in philosophy, and I would just love to hear what this man had to say about this film, because I loved talking to this guy, especially about movies. He was particularly fascinated with the movie Inception, and I think that is the best litmus test for this film. If you enjoyed Inception, you are definitely going to like Cloud Atlas. If that is not your cup of tea, maybe Cloud Atlas is not a good choice for you. It is a 3-hour-long movie, and I understand this is going to put off many different people, like, oh, I don't have 3 hours to watch a movie. Guys, take the time. This movie is worth way more than 3 hours of your life, and it's a great story. It's not boring at all. I mean, how many long movies out there are bad? I can't really think of any. I mean, did anyone honestly think that The Dark Knight and The Dark Knight Rises were bad. No, they were fantastic movies, the former being the greatest of all time. Some people said it was too long. I disagree, and they're just incorrect. How many people were snoring in Avatar or in any of the Lord of the Rings films? You know, these are just... It's a fantastic movie. It's worth 3 hours. So just find it in your day to see this film. It's just so very complicated and just beautiful, and visually, the acting is, of course, fantastic. Tom Hanks, of course, is the greatest living actor and the greatest actor of his generation, hands down. You can't argue with that. If you disagree, you are incorrect. Halle Berry does a fantastic job. Hugo Weaving, the old dude whose name I can't think of. They all did a just fantastic job. Great acting, great directing, an amazing adaptation of the screenplay. You should, guys, definitely see this film. It's just it's hard to explain, but it's a great movie. If you enjoy stories, you're gonna like this film. So I hope you guys enjoyed this little quick review, and I'll see you guys next time.